I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Trying to rule the block, but don't know what goes on. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn. 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government will make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earned that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm trying to do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy it, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm living cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm trying to do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Grand awakening, grand rising, wake up, get the stuff out the corner of your eye. How are you doing this rising?
Grand rising, Brother Lance. I'm doing good. I'm here, as always. Oh, we got a lot of people coming on in. Hey, Brother Ani. Hi, Sister Ayala, Linda. What's that other person? Camus. Hi there. How you doing, Brother Lance?
Oh, I'm doing good. Little physically fatigued. You know, all this work I'm doing. So from this point on, I got to make adjustments and
using your muscles.
Yeah, physically and mentally.
Uh,
Physically and mentally. So
yeah.
that's a good thing, because it's not good to sit down all day or sit down and just not make circulate. I see that, and that's a long way coming, but it'll get me there. And as the blood circulates and the sunlight gets on me, I'll be so energetic. But right now, I'm beat down a little bit in a good way. It's like training, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend. I mean, last night with Brother Dave, if you weren't having a good weekend before, boy, that show, mm, that was enough
He
to
hits the
get us
ball.
charged up.
Yeah, every time he comes in, he gets right to the point. Boom. He said, Lance,
Yeah.
you want to come on in and say anything? Feel free to do so. But here we go. You know, and you look at the other shows done, they just grow like that. And last night's show is going to gain more interest in the older shows that we've done.
Yeah.
And really, 2 years ago, he spoke about this particular time. And he will come back and bring it up a little closer. And there are many things he didn't say last night. Not that he didn't want to, but he wanted everybody to be on par with what's happening right up until the point. And then the next one is going to be where we're going to go right into what's going to happen in the next few weeks, next few months. And like I said, it may not be so pretty. So that's why I say we got to start thinking about prepping.
Right.
And yeah, because there are many ways it can go. And we don't want to really say it, this is just the way it's going to go, but we want to get closer to it. Like a car can never see, only as far as its headlights. So he already knows, because we spoke about it in private. So there's much, much more to come, that if you don't get inspired to get up and make major changes in your life, then, all those Walmarts will be in them a whole lot, the FEMA camps. And it's not a conspiracy theory, but people think it's so far-fetched. But look at the world the way it's right now.
I know.
We got buttered up by the whole, C19. And they gave us more social media, and they gave us more stuff to distract us. More platforms, reactive. Every platform is streaming. We're getting caught, even the Clubhouse, which is a good thing. But right now, it's too. How could I say? It's too much. It's too much to grab our brain. If one doesn't grab your brain one way, another one will.
Right.
And it's just grown folks, kids. Everybody's paralyzed. With the social media, and people say, "Well, Lance, you're on all the time." I'm a person who creates stuff and puts it out there. I'm not knocking anybody who I get on there and look at things and it's like anybody else. But the way I see it now, it's too much. And it's not going to be like 20 years ago. But look, 20 years ago, right after 9/11 happened in 2002, it was the internet. And again, I say it. When the marriage of smartphones and the internet came together, it used to be you could have a smartphone or a phone, but you had to go home to your computer to check your internet, or maybe on your job. You had to be walking down the street on the internet. You do text messages and that's it, or phone calls or voicemails. That's it. But once it was a wrap, once they married the smartphone
with the internet, World Wide Web,
walking around, and now they poured it on even more. Then came YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. You can walk around down the street. That's look,
MySpace, Snapchat, all these things. Yeah.
I saw a dude in the supermarket in front of me, the checkout line. African brother, of course, I'm in Africa, right? Oh boy, straight up looking at porn with the volume turned down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the people in front of him walked up and they're like, "Sir, you can walk down now." And I'm like behind him, I'm like, "Oh man, this guy is watching porn in the supermarket." When other time
is that serious?
In the supermarket?
I know. You remember when they used to have the magazines, and and people were afraid to go over there?
Yeah, but I'm just saying we've been hijacked and we don't know, and this is why there's so much going on that we're not aware of, and they keep these things, or they keep it in a small foot somewhere, but they keep everything else. It's crazy and it's scary to me, like really scary. I just like in that pond, in that lake, and that
blinded.
I just want to put my foot in there for a little while for the day, do what I do, and get out. Even in contrast, going up in the mountains today and working on the property and whatever, I was like, wow, I felt myself like everything dissipating. I'm not stressed. I'm just saying all in the electronics, and this is what this show's going to be, and this is what going. Man, I want to leave out of there. The breeze, the trees, the mountains, the detox mentally. You know, and this being online and watching and talking.
Right.
And these people who are trolls, I can imagine how miserable their life is. They don't do, I mean, they're watching this person, watching that person, watching the Facebook page, looking at that Twitter account. Oh, this was talking, and this, I wonder who they are. And click. You look way around, the day is over. Even if you do things, your mind has been arrested. We don't have to commit a crime anymore to get arrested. Our minds are arrested.
True.
Use this thing, man. It's crazy.
You know, on one side of it, we do have a lot of people out there, good content, and I hate the word, very much aware people putting out content on these platforms as much as they can get it out there before somebody pulls them down or whatever. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna be on there, it should be that you're, if you're on there for any length of time, it's because you're watching something that's ultimately gonna edify you. It's going to allow you, it's going to teach you something you didn't know before. It's going to help you make a decision that you were stuck on, making, because now you see something clearer, or somebody just, gave you an idea. But it can't be just being on there and scrolling and getting caught up in, in the different things that they're putting out there that is of no value to us. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up in. They get caught up in the valueless things that are on social media. Make it work for you, because I mean, like Brother Lance just said, like you just said, you're on social media. You have this platform, that you're working. And look, Brother Dave came on last night, and it was a 2-hour show, whatever. But look at the wealth of knowledge that we gained from that. Look at the things that were said. If we're going to use social media, this is what it should be used for. It should be benefiting you in some way or another, not, giving you empty brain syndrome,
Yeah, but for many people out there, that's easier said than done. A lot of folks, they'll agree with you, but in practice, they're not doing that.
That's true.
Suck their life away. And like I said before, I said it earlier last year, and I've been saying it for years leading up, that we're moving into the age of censorship. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's about to bump up even more, especially for the things that are going to happen. And it's wonderful that there's great content out there, but how do we relate this to life? Like I said before, for many years, nobody ever learned how to ride a bike by reading a book.
Right.
Get on the sites and learn everything, but you got to put it into practice. It's great to know how to work out and get in shape and train, but if you don't do it, you'll never be able to hurdle that fence when some dogs are coming after you. We have a lot of stuff in our head, but we're not putting it into practice.
That's true.
That we've entered the age of censorship and this cancel culture, and somebody else deciding what goes up online. Well, pretty soon, maybe a year and a half, maybe sooner than that, what are we going to do when there is no internet? Because it's going to shut down. It may come back, but when it does come back, it'll be very much a tiered thing, meaning that different levels. Just like when you're on the highway, you have express lanes that you pay for, and you have the little electronic nodule in your windshield that you're allowed to go into those fast lanes that are open. For everybody else, it's a traffic jam. And again, like what Brother Dave said last night, when you really think about it on the common sense level, if there is no electric grid or there is no internet or all of that, how are we going to get to cash or cryptocurrency? How are we going to get it? True. You're only going to have what's on your shelf or what's growing in your yard.
True.
You see what I mean? So the positioning of everything. And there's a lot of things that he shared with me that I wish I can say, but he said, don't share it right now because he's going to come back on real soon and brace us for a lot of things. But it's really later in the day than what we think is. It really is. And I wish I could say a lot of things, but I won't right now because only he could say it the way that it's necessary to say. But several several scenarios that are not too pretty. And we're going to have to toughen up and come out of the la la land and this perception of this and perception of that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be ready to do our thing in real life. That's all I say. And go back. And it's going to be a drastic change worldwide, and it's not going to go back to the way it was. So all of these little amenities and little things that we think are important, we're going to realize how unimportant it is. And if you're not already there, I wish you Godspeed, because we need to stop the games. I mean, I'm not saying anybody here, or I'm just saying overall as a people, most of us don't realize how much we're standing on the rug of the oppressor. And when he wants to pull it out from under us,
right.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And most of us will not be able to survive. So it's like yesterday, we should have been not just preparing, but getting ourselves ready in our heart with our emotions. I'm talking about to the point where our loved ones, if we see them gone for good, these disasters that may be coming. I'm not a doomsayer. I don't want to be that guy out there with a big board saying, "Oh, the end of the world is coming." No, the world is not going to end.
Right. The world won't end. We will
not be wiped out, but there'll be a lot that are wiped out because of their stupidity, because of them not wanting to, ahead of the game, make adjustments. That's all I can say. And a lot of folks, it makes them uncomfortable. But what about when that time comes? And hopefully it doesn't come. But who would have thought? You go back to early 2019. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
The jab and all of this, because I heard, and I have to confirm it again, but I'll just put it out there. And it doesn't seem like it's something far-fetched, but I got to get a second, third source of it. I got it from one source. But they said sometime soon, in Britain, sometime soon they're going to make it where unless you have taken the jab, because it's still there. I mean, a lot of places are saying, hey, you don't need the mask anymore, because they've moved forward into the next phase of this thing, right?
Right.
It's the imaginary boogeyman. The flu is on vacation. I haven't heard about the flu in the longest time. The flu got a good vacation for all the years it worked hard to make us sick, I guess, right? But they said that very soon, maybe next month to March, somewhere in Britain, they're going to make it where you cannot access your pensions, your money, your crypto, anything, unless you have proof that you were vaccinated. That's the only way. They're going to block it up where you cannot, this is what they say. I mean, maybe it could be fear mongering, but the thing is, you got to be ready for the ultimate.
Exactly. That's true. That's true.
So wicked system, and many people who are out here who, let's talk about the Bible thumpers who say, oh, you're saying this stuff and it's just evil. You're just the devil. You're trying to spread fear. Well, then why have you backed out of your Bible that years ago you were telling these same things to people to get them to come into the church? But now your fat behind is faced with this thing now. You've been lazy, just gossiping, going to the church, eating up the ham and potato salad when they have it out there and gossiping. Now it's in your face. And now you want to turn it around like I'm saying something new that you don't already know. Now you're faced with these so-called, and we know it's not the end for the human race, but let's just call it the end times. Now you want to stick your head in the sand because your main man, Jesus, didn't show up yet to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You got to save yourself. It's funny to me how these people have turned things around. Oh, in Revelations, it said there'd be wars and rumors of wars and famine and pestilence.
But
we have these insects that are genetically altered to be insects to go kill off crops. So even still, me out here wanting to grow the food, I got to get ready to build a greenhouse. That can't be focused like they tested it out there in Kenya. You think I'm going to grow my own food? Well, you better grow it in a way where even if nuclear fallout happens when the bombs start dropping, because they are going to happen along with the cyber attacks and stuff like that. Because it's a chain reaction right now. Just like Putin is backed up in the corner from everybody trying to angle him, and he had no choice but to start doing things. Well, guess what? NATO and the American forces and all its allies are going to be backed into a corner and have no choice but to do certain things.
True.
But they scared. They know what's up. China and Russia.
Oh yeah.
It ain't
Oh yeah.
more.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
They
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah, they're going to team up.
Oh, they already teamed up. They already They already have their financial
But
systems.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish that.
No, they already have their financial system set up to go around SWIFT. And
Right.
SWIFT is that conglomerate of huge entities that will allow for huge transfers of money. Basically, that's what it is. You ain't going to see Putin saying, well, I'm going to forward this to your Wells Fargo account. No, they got money bigger than these banks.
Right.
So they have to run up and do something on a higher level. Well, China has something independent of SWIFT that they're going to work with Russia on. And there are other little things, but still it's going to hit them. And they're going to hit back. And then what does a tit for tat start? Because see, Biden and all these American folks know that Putin is a straight up killer.
Mm-hmm.
And these know that, well, I'm covered if the nukes start dropping. They don't care about the people.
Exactly.
So all of these people talk about, well, this leader and vote this one in. They don't give a damn about you. The only reason why they want to become these leaders with these political offices is so they can have that kind of protection for their family.
Exactly.
Nothing more.
Exactly.
Why are you going to leave being a lawyer or this big professional and want to just jump into politics? Politics that makes less money than what you earned in your profession. Does that make sense? Why? That's the reason why. You get access to bunkers. You go underground right now. I can't say I saw it, but use your imagination and how they think. You got places up under the ground 5-6 times bigger than any Walmart, stacked with food for the next 25 years.
Cities under the ground. We have literal cities under there with streets and cars.
Yes. So they don't worry about that. They know that. That's the big secret. Yeah. They're leaving you. And this is why a lot of them on the ultimate level want to leave the planet. And
that's why they step down. That's why you see a lot of, when we were wondering, why are all these CEOs, you get to a level where you have that kind of money and you can buy your spot. They've bought their spot. They've bought their spot. So they're stepping down and leaving the little, oh my God, a happy person that I got the big position. Well, you fool. You didn't get anything. They just put you there so you can keep things going while they disappear until it's safe to come back. As it goes with the prepping and the trying to do what we can do, here's the bottom line. There are certain disasters that are going to hit us that no matter how prepared you are, you can't run away from it if that's what's going to happen. You just have to be, like Brother Lance just said, you have to be spiritually prepared, mentally prepared, physically prepared if you're, capable of being physically prepared, because there's nothing wrong with your body. Do what you can do to be physically prepared. Be prepared in your home. A lot of us still, we talk about it, and a lot of us, we still need to do certain things. You know what I mean? So what you can do is what you do. In the meantime, we can't worry. We can't be scared, about the things that we have absolutely no control over. That's the gist of it all. Do what you can do as far as being prepared. Make sure you have food, water. I have to get more water because, you prepare and then you start using up the stuff that you prepared with, but, you just have to, just keep adding. You can't, you have to get to a place where, okay, that's not going to be touched, and you just have what you need to do what you can do, but as far as, being scared of what could happen, what's the purpose? You're gonna kill yourself. So if you're trying to survive this ultimate, not the ultimate disaster, if you're trying to survive whatever is coming or whatever is going to happen, you have to put yourself in a space where the things I can control, I will try my best. I will do my best to control it. The things I can't control, I cannot worry about it. I can't worry about stuff I have no control over. But what I can control is what, I'm going to concern myself with.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I had to leave the country. And a lot of folks are saying, I'm a nutcase, and I said, listen, I don't want to be in the line of fire, these warring factions. I want to be somewhere where they would consider, like, that's no place over there. Whatever.
Right.
And we come to this place too because of the cocoa, but cocoa is not high on the list as far as it's not. And like I said, that's why, even though I'm still working very hard. There's a certain level of relaxation as I see these things happening, and I'm like, phew, I'm so glad. So there's certain things you cannot convince people of. You have to move on your own.
True.
It could be friends, it could be lovers, it could be relatives, but what we looked at is the black sheep as you make the drastic moves. And the closer we move into this time, none of us much are psychic, but we can sense something coming.
Yeah.
What's flaring up. And when it comes, it's not going to be something that lasts a long time, but the repercussions will. But the actual events.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, look at the people in the Ukraine. They had to sit there if they couldn't leave, right? They had to sit there and hear these, this country wanting to come back for whatever all the reasons that, Dave said yesterday and we see in the news, or, alternate news, not the Main Street news, the people that will tell you the truth. What could they do? They see it coming. There's nowhere to go. All of a sudden now their streets are being bombed, their cities, their homes, things are happening. Here's one scenario that I wouldn't say I'm not concerned for them, but at the same time, this is a classic example of what we're talking about. The melanated students, whether they're African, Caribbean, whoever they are, that were in the Ukraine furthering their education, right? How many weeks, months have we been hearing these threats, and these posturings and I dare you not to do this, and I forbid you, and yes, I'm going to do it, and blah blah blah. Why the hell, when the first cry went out that this was a possibility of something like this happening, why didn't you take yourself out of that? That's just a question I'm asking. I'm not saying that you know what I'm saying.
It's because too many of us are in that la land. We can talk the radical talk and go right back to our smartphone and sit on a comfortable couch and get something out the fridge and microwave it and eat it. And we're just trapped. And, even over there, same thing. Because I look at RT.com all the time. And other Russian newspapers. And even Umar has said the other day, it's been circulating around, well, I'm for the liberation of black people, a black revolutionary, and that's not my fight. I understand that. But see, they got nukes that's going to affect your ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's going to affect you. And there's certain places that are still prime targets in the United States.
Yeah.
And those are targeted.
Yeah.
When things go down, that's where they're going to come for first.
Yeah.
And even if it's there or here or there, it's going to affect the whole world.
Because they're going to try to cripple certain things. Yeah.
No, they plan on doing that. It's symbolic.
Yeah.
A man like Putin has to go out like that. And with that slider missile, there's no defense against that. And it's not like, again, I'm not saying as a doomsayer, but if you know all of this stuff, get out. Just like the movie said, get out. You look at these movies that they put out there, and they have little messages even in the title, but the plot may be something a little different. Stop messing with these white folks. Get away from them. Get out. Don't think you in with them. And you're going to find out, like I said, like that drug dealer who has a couple hits on him, you hugging them up on the corner, standing next to him when the bullets start flying. Well, let's surgically precision, just shoot this. No, everybody is spraying up the corner. It's unfortunate if you happen to be there. So for me, I'm preparing for the internet to go down.
Yeah.
And that's just what it's going to be. You have to have the addresses of those, who and maybe they may not be there if you try to reach out and go there. See, there's so many other countries that have been living this way. So it may sound like I'm being harsh, but I'm not. We're so used to on the news, just like Brother They said, we're not used to seeing stuff like this on American soil. We always turn on TV, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Middle East, and all this, Palestine, and all this stuff. It's always somewhere else, but now it's about to be brought right on American soil. And it may not be a nuke at first, it may be the other things at first, but that's going to be, like I said, what I feel. Maybe not, and I hope not. Because so many of the people that I love will be gone. We're all going to transition, and you don't worry about it. But if you're forewarned, you need to get out. It's just like in the Ukraine, the black folks that were there, and anybody who was there, they've gotten so used to that threat and the wolf ticket being sold. Oh, Russia this, Russia that for years. And I've been looking at this stuff for years. But now he's finally going to go ahead and do it. When you see that girl next to the double Dutch rope, angling up and rocking back and forth, she plans on jumping in the rope. This man's threats so lightly. I can't, I feel for them, but a part of me has to say, if something was that I picked up was overwhelmingly a threat here, where I am in Ghana, out of here. I don't care what no papers say. I have to curl up in the car and have somebody driving across the border, whatever. Do what I got to do. There's a young lady, let me tell you something. There's a young lady from back in early 2020. And that's when things were locked down with Ghana, the borders, because they quick to lock down and keep stuff out. That's one thing I like about them, right? I don't know if she made it here, but she said she's going to keep in touch online or whatever. She was in California. She was going to go through Mexico. She was going to go down through South America somehow. She says, listen, I see where the world is going. This is what she said. I was decent, though my family doesn't see it my way. I'm going to have to get my weaponry and keep it on me. And I'm going to have to do what I have to do. I have cash with me. I'm going to have to change over some of this money and physically go through different countries and find a way to fly over to the continent. And I'm going to find my way in Ghana. She says, if I got to put a gun to somebody's head one time, she said, I'm going to say it graphically what she said. She said, if I have to suck a few dicks to get some money to get where I'm going, I'm getting there. I don't care. She said, I'm on some old underground railroad type stuff. I'm going to do what I got to do to get up out of here. Right. And no matter where you go, there's a threat of something happening, no matter what. I understand that. But when it's so, we've become so lethargic up under these people. Like they are really our leaders. They really don't give a damn about us. They don't. And our lack of unity and seeing the light and being so emotional about things, caught up in the religions and stuff, it has blurred our senses as to what needs to be. But each of us as an individual, what's right for me may not be right for the other person. See? So you have to follow that thing on the inside, but you must be cleared of all distractions. And just like even earlier today, when I was up in the woods, up in the mountains, everything came off of me and I saw things so clear. And so for me, I know all of this reality as it is now will gradually change, as it has already changed. You know, it has already changed. We used to get on the plane and just fly easily around the mall and whatever. I found out that Green Acres Mall, Sunrise Mall is closing if it hasn't already closed. And I'm like, wow. And I had a light debate with a friend of mine, someone else, not the person who gave me the article. And they would say, man, it's because the internet, man, that online shopping. I said, man, listen, nothing beats a mall, the hands-on, going there. You're seeing the pretty girls, the girls are seeing the guys, you're eating food, you go into the food court, all that stuff. Everybody predicted that long ago, that because of the online shopping, that it would kill off malls, and it hasn't. Maybe in under one that wasn't performing properly, you know, and online shopping, you know, killed it. But it's this COVID thing. And I'm not saying it's an actual thing. I feel it's something put out there, but it made it a hassle. And so people were afraid to go out. And now they reverted more to the online thing because that's what you can do now. That's what they allowed. And that pushed us into a dependency on the online shopping experience and communication experience. Part of the plan too. We're all dependent on this thing. But what do we do back in the 70s? What do we do back in the 80s? And much of the 90s? Like I say, we're going to have to completely get away.
Right.
That much more of a shock. That's part of the plan from way back, even before 2001, with the trade center to scare us and you know, take away the rights of privacy, and then we want to escape, and now they're offering us the metaverse. You know, it's just so we're being herded like cattle, not so much physically, but really in our mind. And we've got to be able to get out of that. You know, there will be no drive-throughs maybe one day. There may not be that kind of whatever. I mean, these camps and these things they make, it's getting closer to reality, but they've talked about it so much and nobody can see the connection. So it's conspiracy theory, so and so and so. No, you're going to see death right in front of you. You're going to see people killed right in front of you. And your own neighbor will become your enemy. When they're hungry enough, you don't have to worry about just the government, like Dave said, or some military coming in to get you individually. You're going to do yourselves. You know, we're already bickering amongst each other. We're already hating on each other.
Exactly.
It won't take certain things against each other because Black people, really, it's disheartening right now for me living my life, not even about the internet, but living all these years and always wanting to be a champion and say, hey, we're going to make it one day. We're going to work it out one day. And to see how far we are. My heart is perpetually broken. And this is why, like, even more and more, it just takes away my feeling to want to put more energy into anything, because it's like nobody's listening. I don't see it. Some, yes, some. But overall, Black people are failing, and they're going to be feeling it the worst because we have nothing of our own. And the things that we do have, we allow other people to take and hijack, and we sell each other out. Yeah. And really and truly, like I said, I want to live some years in my life where I can take the burden of certain things. And this has not been a burden for me, but it's tiring on deaf ears. It's not about this. And that's why I'm so glad that Brother Dave came on last night, because it shows that there are people that are, but look how many new people came on.
Right. Yes.
It just happened to be surface.
Surfing.
Oh yeah, surfing. Yeah. Surfing and say, hey man, this thing sounds interesting, which shows you that.
And that title.
That title. Yeah, the title into it. And I know a lot of Caucasians hearing a Black man speak that way was interesting to it. Wow, this knowledgeable. Because there are a lot of people from the other side who reached out to me and, you know, said how much they appreciate it and everything. A lot of us is just entertainment, and they took it to heart, you know. And like I said, you know, there's real life stuff to be done, and the bickering and the back and forth and the things that are going to be there online.
Insignificant things.
Yeah. What about life? Just really imagine if all of this is removed, what would your day be like? If your computers are sitting there and all you could do is graphics on there or do something right then and there without the internet, your phones are not working, but you can play a game on there. I don't know, but just imagine your day without that and electricity. And you'll see how foolish all of the other things are. Madness and, you know, patrols and the page watches, because I know all that goes on my platform. I know all people, all of this stuff. And to me, like I said, from my point of view, from this perspective, I'm not just speaking about a person who gets on. We're regressing, and I can't get down with that. And it's killing my spirit, y'all. Seriously, it's killing my spirit. It's like you go in to a house infested with roaches and you grab the can of spray to spray it, and ain't nothing in the can. I'm not gonna get out of here. I'm not fighting. This is crazy. No, I'd rather sleep in the street. No, I'm doing it. So what? You know, so there's been a lot of things I've been pulling back on, and I'll keep it to the level of interest. If there's interest, we'll keep that going that way. But if not, I'm not trying to convince and let's do this and let's unify. No. I'm going up in the mountains and build my planter boxes and build my wall and build my stuff and whatever. And I'll still keep it on the bare minimum. And if it picks up, it's like a man who has 10 supermarkets and one of them are doing really bad.
Right.
One of them is losing money. And he's been trying to artificially keep it up. And if it wasn't for the money he's putting in it, it would just fall. So the other 9 stores keep it afloat. It's like Home Depot. When I worked there many decades ago and I learned, I said, wait a second. How is it this particular store is making $2 million a week? And you got some Hicktown store that's not even making $100,000. How does that stay open?
Afloat. Right.
It's because of what we make in this store.
Right.
And the overall company, we need to have that. We're going to open up more stores because the stronger stores keep the other things afloat. So, you know, that's the whole concept with me. You know, let other people come aboard and do their Brother Dave work, whatever. I'm looking for those kind of people now. But this whole, you know, 'cause I get cussed out every day and stupid notes, and you know, I don't need to be bothered with this way. You know,
right?
It really is. This the end? No, it's not. It's just the beginning of something else. But 5 and 6 shows a day and all that. Man, I can't do it no more. I'm getting too old, and I see where I need to evolve.
Right.
Overall, there's appreciation here, but there's not much appreciation elsewhere. And in the way they censor you and shadow ban you, and all you do is ask to say, hey, just share a thing that doesn't happen. You pick your booger, you pick your nose, you itch your ass, hit the like button, share it, help, whatever.
Right.
When you look at the stats, overall, for the few who do it, more power to you and kudos. But most people, okay.
Well,
another week or two, we'll see.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, you about to say something?
No. Just moving on to the title. Yeah. Curtis Reeves.
Yeah. Now, I'm not really focusing on this white on white crime because I'm concerned about crime. There's another angle that I wanted to speak on about that.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna share the screen and share the video because the video speaks on it a lot better.
Okay.
And let me see here. Let me go to share screen here. Go to this tab. Okay, here we go. See if I can share it. Let me check it out from this side here. I should have opened up another screen. Here it is. Just give me a second.
All right.
1 second. Okay. Make the screen bigger. Make sure the sound. Let me know if you can hear the sound. You'll hear it before you see it. And the video is like 3 minutes long, so it kind of explains everything. And what I'm going to say about it is different from what the story's talking about. But just notice the fact that this retired, law enforcement officer was acquitted for, killing this man and the way he told the story.
Okay.
And it is a warning to young Black men and women out there because you can do anything and get out of any situation by how you present yourself, whether what he's saying is true or not. And I do believe that the white guy that was messing with him, that was sitting in front of him, texting him, probably was a prick, but he got away with it because he knew how to articulate
finesse the system
and write it down and remain calm. So I'm going to play this right now. Just give me a second to hold on.
Struggle. That's how Curtis Reeves describes his confrontation with Chad Olson in the movie theater. Reeves took the stand today for the first time, and he's trying to prove that he was standing his ground when he shot and killed Olson. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer live now in Dade City. And Aaron, this is the one we've been waiting to hear from, is the man himself. So what else did he have to say?
Well, so he says he felt trapped as he argued with Chad Olson over Olson's use of a cell phone in the movie theater in Wesley Chapel 3 years ago. And he says he felt like this was a situation that was escalating and that he could get killed.
Your Honor, the defense would call Curtis Judson Reeves.
Curtis Reeves took the stand and then took the court back to January 13th, 2014, when he and his wife went to the movies.
I noticed a gentleman that was sitting in front of my wife had his cell phone out, and it was kind of shining in my face.
For the first time, we heard Reeves testify about how he remembers the sequence of events.
My voice was low, and I said, "Sir, can I get you to put your cell phone away?" The response was, F off, or get the F out of my face.
Reeves says he waited a few seconds, asked again, and Olson brushed him off with more obscenities. Reeves, a retired Tampa police captain, left to tell a theater manager in the lobby and then came back.
He stands up very quickly. When I looked up, he was coming over the seat at me. I saw just a snapshot of something dark in his hand. Almost immediately, I saw what I perceived to be a glow from a light, a screen, right in front of my face, and I was hit in the face.
The defense has argued Reeves was hit by Olson's cell phone, which they say could have done serious damage.
After I got hit, then he was facing me. He was very loud at that point.
And what was he saying?
A lot of sentences with the F word. I realize I'm trapped. I can't get up. I can't get out. He's right in front of me, and he's trying to come over the chairs. You find yourself in that kind of an encounter. There's an old saying, you lose your focus, you lose your life.
Olson can be seen in surveillance video, grabbing Reeves' popcorn and tossing it back at him before Reeves opened fire. Reeves implied today he had no way to know Olson was going for his popcorn.
And he was getting ready to punch me, and I perceived that at some point, and that's when the pistol came out.
And what did you do with that pistol?
I shot him.
Did you want to shoot him?
Absolutely not.
So why did you shoot him?
At that point, it was his life or mine.
And that story is a lot different than the one we heard Nicole Olson tell just a few days ago. She's Chad Olson's wife. She says that Reeves was rude. She says he instigated this argument to the prosecution that says he even overreacted to getting popcorn thrown in his face. Now, prosecutors have been cross-examining Curtis Reeves. That cross-examination is expected to last about an hour or so. And we're going to have a little bit more on what he says during that period tonight at 6 o'clock. Cynthia?
All right.
Yes, indeed. Sorry about the echoing that happened a little earlier. I had another screen that was open. And let me open this up here and put it back to where it was. But yeah, you see, the man was so cool and how he handled himself, a police captain. He got this. He knows the deal. He knows how to handle. You understand? So when you go in and something happens to you as a young black man, young black woman or whatever, young old or whatever, these guys know how to handle. And even if it's a young cop who doesn't have much experience on the force. Now I'm saying something completely different. The story has nothing to do with this, but I'm looking at this because I know personally men like this who have positions in law enforcement when I worked in corrections. And I got to know some of the people who with the sheriff's department. They're always coming in to see you in uniform in Walmart. They walk up to you, start talking. You get to know these people. You get their phone numbers. You get invited places, which I don't always go. And I will have to say that this 9 times out of 10, this man's a Mason. So he wasn't going nowhere. All right. So there's the hidden hand behind all these different organizations with secret handshakes. We're talking white Masons, y'all. I'm not to knock the black ones, but you know, the white ones is a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The real. And I don't mean to say power like I'm afraid of it. They got power over me, but power in their system. And he said it so cool because I'm quite sure he's been through all types of investigations in his life. I had to take part in investigations and deal with people who are lying, and you know how to handle yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when you're up against this kind of thing, you're not going to win. I don't care how much you pray to Jesus or, oh, it'll bring us through. This system is not made for us. So this is with them. He made sure, regardless as to the guy took the popcorn, threw it at him, he shot him. And he knew. He knew that guy wasn't. He shot him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just,
in a movie theater? I mean, just get up and move to a different seat if you really was. Absolutely not. I didn't want to kill him.
Exactly.
No, I'm the former police captain. I'm sitting here and you're not going to. If you want to keep escalating it, you're going to lose your life, buddy. That's the way they think. I'm not defending the other guy, I'm defending him. I'm just saying that's the way they think. And they're very cold when it comes time for them, like they say, stand their ground. They feel this is the way they are with each other in war, as we see right now. And
that
you
Florida statue, stand your ground, boy.
Exactly. You're not going to whip them. So you better be shrewd, avoid them, not to be scared or whatever, but know that if you think you're going to be Billy Badass because you saw a couple of movies, smoke the joint and
but you see where that guy, that young man, like you said, you know, he may have been a prick, you know, he may have been just acting like a total jackass, but his biggest mistake was he looked at this man and thought of him as just some old dude, you know. And that's, to me, that's probably where he made his mistake, because he thought that he was being a younger person, he was in a position to manhandle this older man sitting behind him. And it turned out to be a fatal mistake for him, you know.
There's a lot of ways to deal with those types, because I've had to deal with those types, even in public.
Yeah.
The trap for you, because you know, they got out of a car, you saw them, they went into the supermarket, and you see a little sticker on the back of their car that they're retired law enforcement. And a lot of them put themselves in position to have a confrontation with you. I'm not saying him, but a lot of them are like, yeah, okay, I'm older, and I'm in civilian clothes. I don't have a uniform anymore, so you're not going to give me that initial respect, but I'm not going to back up from anybody because that's who I am. So they'll stare at you hard. They'll walk in and give you a funny look and dare you to say something because they know they got that piece and they got the right in their mind to shoot you down.
Right.
You had a pristine law enforcement career, and this happens, and everything is leaning in your favor because guess what? All the people, aside from the rookies, but most of the people who are still in there that came behind you, they're there, and they're going to look out for you. Okay, Captain, don't worry about it. We got you. All the way up to the judges who already know your name, to the other law enforcement agencies. And when you did training with multiple counties, they know your name. When you rise to the level of a captain, you're not just a cop in the county where you're unknown, but you got to prove yourself by your credentials. You're already known. I've mentioned people's names at the time when I was going down Orange Blossom Trail. I was coming home from the police, from the law enforcement academy. This is in 2001 in Orlando, Florida.
Right.
And I was coming, and I was married to my ex-wife back then. And I was calling to see if there's anything that she wanted me to bring in. And I pulled up by this gas station. I had this very small Toyota pickup truck. And all of a sudden I hear this noise behind me. And I see these men in all black with their faces covered, only their eyes. I didn't know what it was. They call them the Duke Boys. And those are regular officers that have to hide their face when they're doing special stings because, that particular agency didn't have a dedicated set of, the city's not that vast. So they get cops that are on that crew and they have to cover their faces. And they were chasing a guy who they felt was selling drugs. And it was like about 12 to 15 of these guys in black. I'm like, what the hell is this? 911 had just happened. And I'm thinking, like, what is this? I couldn't figure it out. So runs and runs and runs. I'm parked, getting ready to get out to go on the phone. And he slides under my car just like a baseball player slides up into home base. Right up under the driver's door, my door, making me look like a getaway guy. All the guns came out. They got him right there. They yanked him out. Now they got the guns up under my nose and my face.
Right.
Guns like maybe 8 inches from my face. 8, not a foot, but 8 inches. How close that is?
Wow.
So they're shaking.
Oh my
God. I had to be cool. Instead of me, man, get out of here, man. And I keep my hands visible. Because they were that close from shooting me and they could have said it. And I know that. And I looked to the other side. Boom. There's another one. There were 3 on one side, on my side, on the driver's side, and 2 on the passenger side. And in the front and behind me, I don't know what was back there.
Oh my gosh.
So they were ready to shoot through each side. And so I sat there for a while, my hands up on the steering wheel. And I'm looking at them and I'm giving them a simpleton look like, okay, really? And so after they calmed down, the black man was in the middle on the passenger side. He was a little behind the other ones. I looked at him and I said, I'm going to appeal to you. Would you please look at the book that's on my passenger side? I said it to everybody, but I looked at him in the eye. Please look at the t-shirt that I have on and how my last name is stenciled on it. Look at my wrist and look at the cuts that came from the handcuffing session that we do to learn the proper way, even when you're fighting somebody to get the handcuffs on them. Look at my wrist.
Wow.
He's still shaking and looking, and he started to calm down. And I said, understand that what I have on, I just didn't make this up. If I was a getaway guy, I am coming from the Law Enforcement Academy in East Valencia. I said, all of you have been through that academy to be working here. And I said, I just finished coming from seeing Sergeant Rowe in the report writing class. They all know Sergeant Rowe because he was like in the academy teaching. He looked like this guy, Sergeant Rowe. But me and him got along fine.
Right.
We got along fine. We had some very deep talks. He was very aware. He wrote several books. He traveled the world. He wasn't just a cracker law enforcement officer there. Deep insight. I know what side he will choose when it comes time to draw the line in the sand.
Right.
We are our own heads of state that must talk to other leaders and break certain things down for our best interest to know how to survive. I don't want to be bothered with certain people in my leisure time. When it comes time to move forward and see what the other side is thinking, we have to deal that way and come up with our own solutions after we get the information that they give and what they don't give. So once they heard that name and saw what I had on, And I said, you know, where my ID was and everything like that. And my cuffs and everything were in my bag. And I reached in and saw it. I said, listen, please, could you take these guns out of my face? You know what I mean?
For real.
Because that wouldn't be a good thing if you did what you did. You know,
Right.
now, I'm a lot more visible doing the stuff that I do online. It really would have been a bad situation if they did something to me. Right. You know, so, and I feel that after those times and I started getting online more, a lot hasn't happened to me because of that. Because there are a lot of things that were supposed to happen by the plans of people just to fame or come at you or whatever, but they back off, leave it alone. No, this guy's too popular. Popularity is not a thing that I ever went after. Whatever came my way, but that's not the prime thing. See? So yeah, things can escalate quick, things can happen quick. And I, for one, if alive after that situation, I would have ripped them apart on paper. Because I learned from old guys like this, and I know certain things, and I know, you know, how to comport myself and present myself. And I just want a lot of my brothers and sisters who may not understand that to do that. Are in power, even when they try to intimidate you and have you locked up and have you a little hungry, they don't give you your food on time.
Keep your wits about you.
Bad food or whatever have you. You're gonna have to push through that and hold your head for the overall. Don't get emotional. You know, don't think you can retaliate on the spot, because unless you have witnesses independent of them, the pen and the paper decides what happened. You can write what you want to write. And chances are when you're in an emotional state, you're not going to be able to write properly. If you're trained to write. Now, I'm not saying like, well, I know how to write. What you mean if I'm trained to write? Nigga, I know how to write. Who you think you're better than somebody else? No, I'm not saying that.
Right.
Trained to put key things inside of there and keep it lean. Only the facts, not your perception. What happened? That's it. Nothing more. And keep your handwriting proper. That makes it for a big difference. It's almost like, okay, I know a lot of folks like and don't like, or you know, just listen to Kevin Samuels. And one thing that he said that I think is true, and we don't have to change who we are, because in the perfect world we should be able to be ourselves. But if you know you're venturing into hostile territory of people who don't look like us and don't like us, we need to dress a certain way. That alone will change perception before they go and look to say, okay, this kid, well, I can tag my parents, I bought them, I could do. Well, look at propaganda put out there about us anyway. I mean, if I go out there as old as I am, the propaganda, we're fighting against something and perception where some of our own coon brothers and sisters would speak against us in court. You understand? It's a battle. And you have to know how to play the battle. It's like a boxer who catches multiple blows in his face and he doesn't like it. You can't get emotional and start going crazy to swing on the guy. You got to understand and say, well, listen, why am I catching?
Exactly.
How is he getting through my defense? What adjustments do I need to make to be successful, to not receive these blows and be able to dish out some punishment of my own? It's all strategy. And these folks in their courts, it's already stacked against you masonically. So when you have a police captain like this, so cool and talking so cool, what you think?
Wow. Oh yeah. He's a master.
Whatever you need to do on that shrewd level, you must do. Because look, if he came out, imagine this particular case was racially charged. It wasn't because it was two white men, but imagine it was a black man who they said, man, it would be so much emotion flying, but this man would have still did the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And he in their system would have gotten acquitted.
Oh yeah.
Because we only go forward with undergirding our stances of situations that will happen in the future. We only do it at the moment. We start scrambling for resources. Since we know the system is the way that it is against us, we need to 24-hour, 7-day-a-week work on workshops, awareness, and have people who have a modicum of power in their system, who are not compromised, who are not Masonic, which is going to be kind of hard to get somebody who's not, right? But moving forward, if you do everything right and you have that cool-headed mind of an assassin, I'm not saying to go out there and kill nobody. Understand what I'm saying. When you have the mind of an assassin, you are cool as can be.
Right.
You have trained your personality and your mind to do a job, and that is all it is to you. You get up on that rooftop, you put the cross threads on somebody, you do what you do, you go home, you enjoy your dinner, nice little TV show, and some sex with your wife, and you ain't thinking about it. What I'm saying is that this is how they think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No feeling from them to you about, well, I can't go too hard on him because, young guy, a young fella, and has his life ahead of him, and he's 22 years old. No, lock him up. That's how they think. Mm-hmm. But when it's one of theirs, one of their little Kyle Rittenhouses.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't do that to white flesh. You can't do that. He has his whole future ahead of him.
But look how long it took for this to come to trial. 2014, and now it's 2022.
And they try to lie and say, well, it's COVID, but this is what they do. Understand that they will try to drain you of your resources. See the police captain? He probably got all kind of donations and all kind of stuff. We can't have him. Yeah. I've worked with him for 30 years, and I'm going to take a big chunk. Let's all pitch in $20,000 because they would all do for each other like that. It's like when you go into a lottery and you pool your resources on a job, and it's like, okay, you can play by yourself, but it's harder to hit. But if all 25 of us play,
better chances.
We break it down 25 ways. How about that? Well, they do that for each other symbolically. I'm not saying they set that up in an actual pool. When it comes time to pass around that cup to get that money, that plate for this man, they're going to do it because they all retired and have their little investments, and there's nothing. Well, I got 15 great investments going on. I'll take 2 and give it to Harry or give it to Curtis or whatever. They do that. But we don't do that.
We don't do that. Nope.
I don't know what you're going to do, brother. But all the years, I love you. Oh, I got your back. I hate to say it, but the majority of black folks out here, they start
not helping you. Yes.
Yeah, that's how they are. They want what they want for themselves. They don't put out for others. Say, I will always do what I need to do here on the platform always, but I'm not going to wear myself down as much. It's going to be the real. It's going to be those shows, the type with Brother Dave and the things that we already are here want to share. I love that, and but running down, because I remember that I used to get up and hop in the car and drive to different states and do it. I'm not saying I don't want to do that, but to what end? To what end? When overall the appreciation is not there. So for the real ones, yes. Like Oprah ended the show, but she kept coming out with these specials. So she never left.
Exactly.
We, for those who are unified, continue to do so. But for those who are out there who want to play these games, leave them alone because they ain't got your back. Only deal with the people who really have your back. And most of us are not doing it. And that's the sad number. But those who don't, you know who they are. And they're just going to have to suffer because they're dormantly negative. And I can't believe at the chronological age that I am and nothing has gotten better. And it's not about being negative, but remember the grind that I do over the last 2 decades and seeing it, hands-on. And I have a degree in niggerology. I hate to say it that way. Black people, I love you, but I got a degree in niggerology, man. And I can't deal with niggas no more. I'm sorry. I can't deal with the niggas that act like black people, but they really niggas under the bottom. Let's just say it for what it is. I can't do it.
Wow.
Those down low niggas. See, niggas on the down low, but outside they're acting black and pro-black and yes, my brother. No. I had to deal with that when I first got out here. That's why you don't see no more. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. No. I'm tired. I want to take walks in the woods. I want to get back and feel the mountain breeze. And you know what I mean? But it's a thankless endeavor. But I love the ones who are really all about it. And that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
All these, if they don't know the platform by now, they'll never know it, some of them. So we're going to keep it going the way we keep it, downsized.
Exactly.
Right? You don't understand, we ain't trying to explain. You come into the comment section of the video, and you don't understand, delete and block and go on. I'm not dealing with confrontation and all of these little, people making up pages so you don't know who they are and they popping up on your stuff to watch. It's twisted. It's It's mentally sick.
Yeah.
Weirdos, man.
That's true.
I know Amir feels the same way, that he'd rather be somewhere doing goatee style. Goatee style is a wonderful thing.
Oh God, how you know he ain't already doing it?
Man, he doing it now.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, you know, now we have our identity crisis. You know, do we know who we are?
Right. And why I put that particular photo up there is because of the movie that's coming out soon. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be out in movie theaters or something. It's going to be streamed. But I heard maybe it will, but I saw that one aspect of it will be streamed.
Okay.
And the title of it is what Sister Terry. About. And The Man Who Fell to Earth, the 2022 version, because there was another version out in the 70s with David Bowie. And so even though remake for the concept, I think that it's a whole other angle with this. And, you know, even though it's a black man who is over this and stars in it and everything like that, and I'm not going to say Hollywood per se, but the entertainment world, you can get signed off to do something, because if a white man made this, there'll be a lot more questions on us, you know, from us. But since a black man created this and stars in it, it's like, oh, he's a brother. But you know, in Hollywood, the entertainment industry, you got to watch those who look like you, because they may come off a certain way and not really be all about a positive agenda.
True.
You know, and why I brought this up as far as something to talk about is because overall, and I still stick to my guns, they know something about us, the people in control and in power, which don't look like us. And I'm not saying all people who don't look like us, all Caucasian. No, they don't know. They just as dumb and batshit crazy as anybody else. Those who know, when you look at it over the years and you hear these different things, like in the comments section, someone had mentioned that Elijah Muhammad, and not that it had anything to do with being a Muslim, right? But Elijah Muhammad has stated that there were 7 planets not too far, which not too far in space is far, populated with us, that we populate as black people, right? And I've said it before, but I'm just going to modify it even more so. They know something's coming. They know something's coming with great power. And I don't know the plot of this whole movie. I just know that it's black so-called aliens, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if the black so-called aliens are going to be looking to do anything bad. I know that the gentleman who came down from space said that his planet was suffering and he needs help. You know, I don't know what the plot of the movie is. I'm just saying the overall, because it's not going to go tit for tat. Bottom line is that they know that there's more to us than meets the eye. Why do they come at us so hard? Why are the CEOs stepping down? Why are they disappearing? Why is a guy like Elon Musk trying to get to Mars? Why are they trying to get out of here and do these flights going up? What's wrong with the Earth? Why are they leaving?
Right.
Because, like I said, the planet Earth is the biggest crime scene in the universe. And they've done so much to us, and they know. I'm just going to say it. Call me a quack. Just like when I mentioned something along the lines of a COVID a couple of years ago. I said what I said. I didn't predict that. It was on my spirit. That's where it was leading. I did not say it was going to be something like that. But people go back and listen. Man, you were dead on. I didn't know. I was just to say it, just like I'm saying it now. They know something's coming. They notice something coming is not them. It's us. Even if it's cat eyes we have, it's us.
Yeah.
They notice something's coming back with great power, and they want to season us to be fearful of what's coming. We don't have to be fearful.
We don't have to be fearful because it's us. Right.
Is going to be very angry as to what happened to us. So this is why they're trying to get rid of all evidence of us, and to marry with us, kill us, get rid of us. Get rid of the evidence quick, but they can't.
But you can't get rid of it because they don't. I mean, look, we see limited, right? Because of where we are and the dimension that we happen to be in. We see things on a limited basis. So no matter how much they know, And no matter how much they're trying to get rid of, they can't get rid of, because everything is already known. You can't hide what's already known. You know what I mean? So there's no such thing as hiding the evidence. Even if you got rid of all of us, they still have to pay. There's still retribution to be paid for what was done, because
Of course.
it's seen. You know, I started watching this YouTuber, and I can't remember his name, Rashid or something. I can't remember his name. But anyway, he was talking. It took a minute for him to get to the meat of the podcast that he was doing, or presentation he was doing. You know, and if you're the kind of person who can't sit through early fodder, you know, like how sometimes we talk, but when you have two people going back and forth and, you know, bantering off each other, it's different than when one person is just talking and can't get to the point. This took a minute, but when he got to the point, it was like, oh shit. You know, talking about, you know, how we always talk about HUEMAN versus HUMAN and so on and so forth. And then he took it to another level where we as melanated people, we're always thinking that we're from here, but basically what he's saying is we're star seeds and we're from elsewhere.
Well,
But
the
we were,
Dogon said that. Even
yeah,
when I did an interview with the
yeah,
gentleman from Atlanta, and I keep
mhm,
forgetting his name, but he's a scholar on the continent. And
mhm,
like he said with the Dogon, they're
yeah,
finding out things that the Dogons already knew from many years ago. Like they're
mhm,
finding this out. Like, how did they know this? And how did they
right,
get knowledge? Because they had connections. And how are they going to know the constellations and the stars? And they take
exactly,
and find out that what they just found out, we've been talking about already, Black people.
right, right,
So
right,
with, you know, they don't like that about it, and they don't want us to make that connection. So they want to keep us apart. There is nothing to fear. Now, what I'm leery of is that they may try to have something staged before the arrival of us.
yeah,
That's very destructive. And then we think all of it is bad. And then they have the forces of this earth, the military go after us, and we're like rah, rah, rah behind them because we don't care if they look like us. They coming to destroy us. But it really wasn't them.
right,
There's something about, you know, there's something about us that they know and they don't want us to find out. And the people who have those books buried, you know, over by the Vatican, they know, and they do not want us to know. We are special.
exactly,
Even if it's not that, it's something that would blow your mind. And it's one of the biggest kept secrets in all of mankind, and your mankind, that means them, because we're human.
exactly,
But they know our power, and they must work hard on so many levels to keep us away from each other on a righteous level to procreate, which means aiming our sperm in the wrong hole in the wrong sex. I'll say it, I'm sorry. To keep us spiritually off with these religions, and to keep hating each other. The
yeah,
bottom line, you know? And I couldn't play the sound in that trailer because obviously this
right,
video was
right,
flagged, so I
right,
couldn't play it that way. But I'm really interested in seeing this and reading between the lines. I don't usually get that much interest, and especially they remade this. So why are they doing this now? You see what I mean? All this conflict that's happening between these countries and the things that might happen, and then something else happened, and then everybody got to team up and go against that, or something stayed.
and you see, we have to be careful too, because as much as, especially us as melanated people, because this can be another way of drawing you in and distracting you.
Of
You,
course.
you know what I mean? Because then it's like, oh, it's
No,
something for us. You know, let's all get caught up in it. You know, and then
I'll
something else happens.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you going over a person's house and you know their kitchen is nasty, and they put a plate of food in front of you and they're expecting you to eat, and they're going to eat too. I will take the edge of that fork and just act like I'm chewing. I'm not eating all this food. I know it's going to make me sick. It's nasty. I saw
Right.
them roaches picked out the soup. I'm not trying to eat that.
You're a mess.
I'm going out. Yeah, I forgot. So I'm going out to the car.
You go home.
You never came back in. Yeah, I had an emergency phone call, man. I had to help a friend out. I'm out of here. Roach juice is not on my menu. No, it's not on my diet.
Mm-mm.
It's
Mm-mm.
so wild. so important with what they do in their remakes and everything. Even though they put
Yeah, it's just too much,
yeah.
because clearly, even, I mean, the money had to come from somewhere to produce this. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think put it up? Did we put it up? Did, who put up the money?
Right.
So there has to be some benefit for them in there in the long run. They're not so willing and, to tell us who we really are.
You're right.
And, what is that saying? That we are reptilians or feline? Which one are we? Are we reptilians?
We'll find out. The truth will come out. It won't come out from any university or any Caucasian man who happens to be nice and cares for us, whatever. It will come from an independent source, and we'll all be enlightened in a way, and it'll be profound. There's no turning back. But I
I
do know
think we need
scrambling. They're scrambling. They know something's coming.
Exactly. I think we need to go back and watch as much as we can, even though we know it was a white man that went and did the interviews and so on and so forth. But we need to go back and watch a couple of those Credo Mutwa interviews, on YouTube, and really listen between the words of what he's saying,
Right,
because he said a lot.
Yeah, they're not going to put it out there plain. They'll do it coded so that their people who have a little knowledge can understand. But
Yeah.
right, we'll get it, reassemble it together in our mind in a way that doesn't do us no good.
Right, but we really need to, because I think a lot of the things that he said we're going to start seeing it. We're going to start experiencing it. We have babies that are coming forward now, that are coming forward different from before, coming forward wide awake, wide open, with so much knowledge, so much information, that it's going to be out there. It's going to come quicker than we expected.
Younger generations. That's why they should have worked harder, because they figured the older folks who are so caught up in amenities and their comforts. They're like,
exactly. That's why they're doing that's what
already been coming here. We're here, but they increase the drugs and carnal activities and but those young folks are used to that, a lot of them, and they ain't going for it. They ain't falling for the trap.
But that's why they did the C-19. That's the whole point. Because if they can prevent the young people nowadays who are of childbearing years, if they can get them to take this damn killer, right, and then either can't have any babies, or whatever they bring forward is not going to be the pure seed that comes through. It's going to be missing something. Exactly.
Like you buy something from the store, an electronic device, and it's something crucial that you need, and it's not in the box, and it can't work.
That's right.
We will act healthy, and again, we might even bear children, but they're going to be missing something, some kind of element, spiritual element that we need, a perception to be able to have that discussion with each other without even having to open up our mouths, because we have that already when we really need it.
Right.
But we're not aware of it. When you see a brother cuffed up and the cops got him out there and he's looking at you as you walk by, and he's looking at you, telling you when you drive by slow, listen, I'm innocent. I didn't do this. You can read that.
Yeah.
You can see the guy might be guilty. He puts his head down and like, oh man, I'm caught. But when there's a certain look on their face, they look, and this is why soon, like I said, they cover up the mouth and the mask and the nose, and soon there'll be something so severe. They say, now Bill Gates is out there talking about, yes, the next thing that's coming is going to be more severe. How do you know this, man? You can't even keep your marriage together. How do you know this? You're not a doctor. You're a dude who made a lot of money.
Right.
But they feed this stuff to him, and he tells it, and this stuff starts coming true. There will be another variant of C-19, and then one pops up in South Africa. What the hell?
Exactly.
So you're saying this? Well, the next thing is I'm saying it. The next thing is where we're going to have to cover our faces, our eyes, because you can get in through the fluid of your eyes and your nose and your mouth and cover up your ears. We're going to have to wear a mask with filters in the nostrils.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's some kind of Velcro thing around the mouth that we can eat, but you shouldn't eat in public. You should eat at home.
Yeah.
So the restaurants are done then. Places to socialize are done, but you got to do it gradually. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't, man. They're wooing us over slowly but surely, and we so stupid. We're just so stupid.
Yeah. Our young people, man, it ain't about booty shaking nowadays. Got to get off of that platform. Get off of the booty shaking. Get off of the, I'm not saying people shouldn't look nice, shouldn't dress nicely, but, get off of the fake stuff, because that's not it. That's not it. We have to be more aware of what's happening around us. Social media is the death of melanated people if we're not careful, because that's what they want. They want us to get caught up in the, they put people out there that look like they're making money and they're living the Joneses life, because we want to keep up with them, and it looks like they're living well. And so that is the aim of most of us, our young people, is to live like that, and it's to our own demise.
Even the ones that say themselves to live like that ain't living like that. And so what does living like that mean? Like, okay, you got some people who work all their lives and retire, and they have I'm not saying it has to be this way. Just hear me out. They have a nice car that may be brand new, and they're going to ride out with that in their retirement years. And it may not be some sports car. It might be a Chevrolet. It might be a Ford. It might be whatever. I'm not saying you can't get a Benz if you want it. You worked hard for it. But it's not about what they have at any point. It's about the connection. I remember going home from school or coming in from outside playing when I was younger, and I would go out in the front and play or whatever have you. And the feel of a home, not just because the food was cooking, but that home, which when I look back was very small in comparison to what I'm going to know soon. But it doesn't matter the size. It was my home and the warmth of the home. And look how many of us have house, condo, apartment, but we don't have a home.
Exactly.
When you retire and you can stay home as much as you want, and it's truly a home where there's love. Your family comes by that are decent and good. They're not looking to hate on you or whatever. They're just glad to see you and be with you. You saw the kids, they didn't have much except maybe to get an ice cream cone when the ice cream Mr. Softy or whoever you call it in your state went by. It wasn't about that. They were just glad to see each other, and they made it along the way to play, but they just wanted to be with each other. You see them sitting on the steps and laughing and talking amongst themselves, because it wasn't about, well, I have this video game and I have this toy, and even the video games pulls the children away from each other.
Yes.
Be in the same room playing a video game. Mind is focused on that game and that joystick or whatever it may be. They need to shut that down and get a ball and really laugh with each other, look at each other, and relate to each other. Know how to greet the elders or the parents. They don't do that anymore. Parents walk past children and their friends, and the friends don't even greet them anymore. You have to make them speak. They've been neutered on a social. No, reduced. And so since they don't have these social skills, they can't relate when they go to a job. Not that job is the ultimate, but that's how the way the majority of things are done.
That's how it is. Exactly.
If you have your own business, you need to know how to relate, because how are you going to sell yourself?
Right.
In a restaurant, you look up on the menu, what you going to do? Not speak? You better talk about what you need. What happens to the conversation, the art of conversation? We're so dysfunctional, we can't even look through the art of conversation righteously. I'm not a shyster, but I can find myself anywhere. It makes a trip out, an adventure. You introduce yourself. You give a compliment. Tell people what your motives are and what it is that you're doing, and you prove it to them. And you ask them their help. I'm not saying money, but this is what I do. I'm out here by myself right now. I notice you're standing. Could you hold this camera for me while I do this or whatever? And now they get involved. And they see the results when you put it up. And like, wow, I helped to do
part of that. Exactly.
And when you coming out this way again, I got 5 more friends who want to come help out. But we sit trapped up inside a house looking at the world through the computer and not relating. How much relating time do you have in your day? This is up. This is what fed me more when I went up on the mountaintop and did my work early today. And soon I'll be going back up there to do something else as it gets darker. But the bottom line is the relating, the vibrating. You cannot vibrate with a computer or a smartphone. We need to vibrate with each other. Yeah. When they had, and I hate to say slave, but when they had slave revolts, they had to communicate first. They had to feel each other's pain. They had to see pain. We're locked away, disconnected from each other. And when we do go out, we got a mask on our face. Not that we weren't.
Very interpersonal.
And they allow the eyes to be seen, but soon we'll be dark head. Like the daggone invisible man, like a mummy, just wrapped.
Yeah.
Covered up with lenses for our eyes. So we won't be able to, we won't even know who we're standing next to.
You don't even have any softness in the eyes anymore. You know, it's bad enough you can't see the lips and the cheeks and the, you know, the frown or smile lines. You can't even, eyes are almost soulless, you know, because you can say a lot with your eyes, man, but people are just, oh God, it's just empty eyes looking back at you.
Well, nothing can be in there because nothing is put in. It doesn't grow. To grow, you have to vibrate with someone else who is human. You can't get that. Look, this is the way it is. Let's take the whitest state in America, one of them, Maine, and you drop a brother up there who the parents, it could be a woman, man or woman, right? Whose parents grew up, let's just say, down south and migrated to Harlem, New York, and they just all about the blackness, even though they know how to deal with other worlds. And you take a child from them and drop them in Maine and never let them get a visit with their child. You think that kid's gonna have soul being around them people? He's vibing with something that is below his level. Yeah. He ain't gonna vibrate black. He ain't gonna have that thing. You think you put him on the dance floor, he's gonna have any rhythm? No. You think you bring him down and let him make love to a chick from around the way who's vibing with everybody or her black people? Love right to her. Humping on stiff butt cheeks clenched and looking up at the ceiling. It won't be no soul. Like, yo, no
mess. Yeah. True though, that's so true. He's been indoctrinated into the wrong system.
Yeah. I'm sorry I said that, but I'm not. But that's the way it is. And it looked like, I don't know. It's just, you got to be careful who you're vibing with.
Yeah.
Very careful.
Very careful.
You just don't know what you're around.
Better off staying by your damn self.
We talk about GMO foods, or what about the GMO people? What about the GMO black folks who can morph into somebody who you think has soul and can make a connection with you, but they're really there to suck the soul out of you. And that's what happens. And even on a sexual level, we have brothers out here, we have sisters out here who look like us. They're not really, they're GMO people who have certain things extracted out of them.
Wow.
They're sent out to us on a spiritual level. I'm not even saying it's the government. They're sent out to us on a spiritual level to suck our soul out of us.
Wow.
And yes, on a sexual level, that's what it is. You know what? When your soul is sucked out of you through a blowjob, it feels so damn good. But you're not doing yourself anything good. I'm just telling it to you raw. The way old grandfathers tell the grandsons, like, listen, I'm not going to cut the chase. I don't have much time here. This is what it is. Be careful who you lay in the bed with. Why you think we have so many sisters out here who dealt with a man that destroyed them when they broke up? They didn't even do nothing, whatever have you, visibly. But when they broke up, they were crushed. Or even if they're in the relationship and the person's away from them for a while, they're incomplete.
Yeah.
Think about two people becoming one? No, because if two people who are 100%, they're 200%. True. If they become 100%.
Right.
And if when they break up, they're only 50%.
Exactly.
And that's why you can't get yourself together when you break up with these people who should be enhancing your life. If I'm 100, you're 100, and we're synergistic, we should be 2,500 together. That if we break up, I'm 1,200 and not 100. Relationship. If you find yourself leaving out of a relationship and you're broken. Yeah, you're going to miss the person, whoever it is, but you're broken. Less than. They took something from you.
Indeed.
When you watch the porn and they have the parts where people are given oral sex, and the title of it is, I'm going to school you all on this. Oh, soul sucking oral. Suck your soul. Yeah. And it feels good. I knew a young lady like that a long time ago. But every time, it wasn't just a physical weakness. It was a lack of enthusiasm.
Really?
I say, man, what's? I ain't going to the gym today.
Really?
And I know a competition coming. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. Then I get to the gym. I ate right. Got my rest. I can't seem to remain focused on what it is that I have to do.
Because you're focusing on getting back to some more soul sucking, huh?
Yeah, but they took something. It was a spiritual thing.
Of course.
It wasn't just ejaculate. It was more of a spiritual snatching.
Of course.
And we
And not even
women get it, and women get it a whole lot. These shysters who not only do that, but they connect up soul ties with other people that you don't even know.
Exactly.
They're laying in the bed with so many different people, and now they have not healed themselves. They don't give a damn. And the only way they get relief from the 12, 15, 50, 2,000 soul ties they got on it is to get another victim to share it.
To share that with. Yes, indeed.
They're gonna dump this stuff on you. And now there are people that you don't know who are having a bad day.
To you.
You don't know why you're depressed. You don't know why you're angry, because somebody else who you don't know is connected to you on that spiritual soul tie level through sex.
Exactly.
And you running around thinking, oh, I'm bipolar. No, you're not. You got too many damn soul ties that have been hooked up to your house.
You got shit sitting on your head that you don't even know is or on your shoulders.
Exactly. So all those
weighing you down.
About. And don't think, well, I just stay home and I don't deal with anybody. I just stay home.
They're
I get a little
and
lotion and I get to watch a little porn, give me a little stimulation. Well, you getting soul ties with them too. They could be dead. They could be porn from 25 years ago, and they are dead.
It's gonna come through. Much,
and they violated by putting that energy out there for you to lust after, getting chastised wherever they are, because it's almost like residuals. You know what I mean? Like residual income.
Yeah,
they are on a spiritual level, and they still feeling it because whatever form they're in, because they did that. You're not supposed to do that.
Exactly. That is true.
Soul ties with dead people.
Hey, you know what? You talk about soul ties. You shouldn't even or soul sucking, even if you're in a committed relationship or you're married or whatever. And no matter how much you love that person or whatever, that should not even be. We're just so in love that this is what we're going to do. You shouldn't even be wanting to suck the soul out of anybody at all, partner or not. Because that's a serious thing.
Exactly. Now I'm not against the sucking part.
Well,
but don't
no.
I got to have the sucking part.
Listen, stop it. We're talking about soul sucking now.
Parasites. Yeah. The parasites who they get a blast and they don't know how to handle it. You see what I mean? Because we all know that on a deeper level, and we'll talk about this we'll talk more sexually oriented on show. We'll do something like that tomorrow, maybe.
Okay.
We'll make up some title. We'll do the whole show. Forget a story. We're going to talk about this because stories come out of that. But the thing is that, are you a parasitic entity, or are you a loving entity who wants to add on and become synergistic with this person?
Somebody else. Right.
On the deeper levels of lovemaking.
Yeah.
When you perform oral sex on that person and they begin to have an orgasm and climax, it is such an energy rush for the person who is providing the stimulation.
That's true.
I'm feeling it too. This is why, men, when you see a woman who really loves you and she sees she's pleasuring you, you look at her and her rolling up in her head and she's moaning like you into this just as much as because she's sincerely
she getting it too. Yeah, right. You gotta be in that mindset in order for both parties to enjoy themselves.
Yes.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're dealing with the right energy though, because they can act as though they're enjoying this and they are giving friction. Look, spiritual vampires give good head too.
That's
even
true.
better because they're trying to use you.
That's true.
And suck from you. This person that loves you ain't trying to, they sucking from you, but they're not trying to strip
They're not
you
trying
down.
to take anything from you.
Because
Exactly.
then you have the people who are dominating over you on a sexual level to keep you corralled and controlled. You understand? So it's a form of soul sucking, but they make sure to do what they do so good. We know, and we've heard it before, how we have so many young ladies and men, but the young ladies, they catch it bad, seem like. I'm not going to say worse, but in a different way. I don't know. You know, I broke up with him 3 years ago. He done went up 2 years. And, I situate myself with a new man, but down the block and the memories hit me, and I ran into him in the supermarket, and I can't tell my man this happened, but I was in the back of my ex-man's van, and we were just getting it so good. I'm so addicted. I love my man. I plan on marrying my man, but
that's a lie. You can't. No,
and I mean,
no.
15-inch penis that he has that twirls and oscillates. You know what I mean? But it's just something about that energy, and you can't shake it. He done got a hold of you from before, and now that he pulled away, you still want it. You tried your best.
That's crazy.
And move on and push it in an artificial way, but you got to go back and deal with that. You just can't ignore it. It's just like the guys who get caught up in certain women. Say, man, I've been faithful all these years, man, but this girl coming from out of town, you know what I mean? And our mutual friend, they let me know, and she didn't give a message that she wants to see me. And now I get a hotel room she gonna be in, and my wife is out of town, and I'm a little lonely, and man, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I ain't going up there, but you find yourself in that part of town.
Yeah.
You find yourself driving past that hotel. You find yourself having to use the restroom. So I need to park in this particular hotel parking lot and see if they have the
use that bathroom.
And you go use the bathroom. I'm a little tight. Let me sit down here in the lobby. And you know, good and damn well you're going to see her. And if not, you're going to knock that door. I just wanted to say hi. Nothing big. Come on in, baby. And it's on and popping. Now the addiction comes back again.
Exactly. Now you go home and you can't perform with your partner because they ain't never gonna be as good. Listen.
And see, this is the thing. And at times that you can go and perform, but your mind won't be there. Your mind won't ever be there.
Right. That's it. So how much can you give that person? I mean, and it's a lie because whatever you're giving them, you're giving it to one individual as if you were giving it to the person you really want to be giving it to.
You know it, Sharina.
What did she say?
Lance gonna bring some sex in every episode, laughing out loud.
Yeah. You know how that works, Sharina.
we talk about coal mining in West Virginia. We're gonna find some way to bring it around.
Oh yeah. That's how it is. But serious business. Serious business. So I guess since you've already put it out there, I guess that'll be the show for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll free flow that one.
All right.
Because I mean, since there's a lot of experience floating around here, so we can talk about that. For hours. So Sharina, make sure to be there because we're gonna just purposely we're gonna we're gonna go deep.
Oh God.
Stories and needs to be said. Constant level. You just can't do one show and it'll be buried for 2 years. Oh yeah, I remember that show 2 years ago. You got to kind of hit things angles, and only if you could bring it in a refreshing kind of way. And for me, that's something very easy. And I probably will be up in the mountains when I do that show. So it'll be without the special effects and whatever have you. Maybe it will have it because I'm going to bring some stuff up there.
All right.
I'll bring one of my modules, laptop, battery, this, and that, and whatever.
Just do the do.
Be on some old prepper shows talking about sex.
I know. Well, you have to prepare for it.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do to prepare.
For real. That's right.
So, okay. On to the next topic.
I'm just going to read this article, part of it.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 points, because we know we can, that's a whole other, dedicated show that I want to reach out to certain people that have their ideas on it, because all ideas are good ideas. And that's something that I'm moving into, not slowly, but, for me, we got to have that bug out location. I mean, it's somewhere else. We always have to have that, but I'm going to do some drastic things where I am. And that's all I'll say. Like, I'm going to do some it's because it's going to be a hobby. It's going to be what it is. And I just want to move myself into being more and more self-sufficient, because eventually where I will be like a prepper location away from the city anyway. So do those things even more so. And there's certain things I just will not say over any broadcast or any kind of live streams and whatnot. Not that I don't want to share. I'll share all I can, but I have my own unique ideas of things I'm going to do.
Okay.
Put into place. But they have a lot of prepper websites and stuff that.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Videos and stuff, but I found this when it said prepping on a budget, the 7 rules you need to know, because a lot of us don't have the disposable income to just buy this and buy that, and people think I got 10 years worth of food, and it's not always that way. But if you do stuff across the board, and also have an idea of a remote location you can go to, like I said, me saying it, even if it's a place that it's not going to be developed anytime soon. You don't even know who owns it, but it's been like that. You check the records of the city and you see, well, this is tied up and there's no plans for anything to happen. No plans have been submitted to start building or permits or whatever. You may have to get a barrel, worth of stuff and bury it and know where it is. Nobody else is going to know where it is except you.
Right.
You have your supply where you may have to leave your home and go there and get a hold of something to sustain you.
Yeah.
Canned stuff or whatever. Well, we know that canned stuff is not the best stuff for your health. What are you going to do?
It is what it is.
And to be able to know how to hunt.
Survival.
For those who for those who are vegan, like I said, you have to do what you have to do to survive. Oh no, I don't have that. Well, then if you're in the climate, so you can't, get those and they're not transporting those things to you. What you going to do?
I was watching this pink person yesterday on one of the platforms, and he's all about canning, right?
Yeah.
Canning every damn thing. He canned cakes, biscuits, what do you call it? Pancake, eggs and bacon if that's what you like, beans and whatever, meats. He canned everything. The trick is to know how to can properly, so you preserve your food. And the stuff that he was canning, they can last for 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
Okay,
so
yeah, so to me, more so than anything else, and I'm saying it, and we all need to be doing this more so than saying, okay, you got to grow your own food, because not everybody is going to be in a position, especially when you live in a concrete jungle and you live in the cold weather, and but doing it on a budget where you might not be able to build a greenhouse in the winter time or whatever the case may be. Canning is your next best friend. Okay, that's what we need. We as melanated people, for the most part, I know people from down south, we know, that had farms and their grandparents knew how to do certain things. Yes, but city slickers don't know how to do a lot of these things. This is what we need to learn to do. This is how we need to learn to preserve food for later on. Tomatoes, so you can make your spaghetti sauces, or you can do whatever you need, your greens, this, that, the next thing. That's what we really and truly need to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is that also what goes along with that, we can do all of that, and when people know we have it, they're gonna come with guns and try to take it. So we have to protect it.
Well, we can't tell them.
No,
you just have to find some place to hide it.
Exactly. They're still gonna kick in your door. You know what I mean? You better build some place where some kind of secret room or something where you can hide.
Exactly, man. Put them in shoe boxes, because put them in the place where people are not likely to, because oh, this is a box of shoes. What the hell? Or something that it's so.
Just get you some cinder blocks, dig out a hole 8 foot deep, build a structure down
Put
there,
stuff down
cover it
there because it'll
up,
stay cool.
leaves and dirt over it, and right there, they'll walk right over it, not even know.
Exactly.
They won't know. Go underground with it.
So true.
I mean,
so
that's
true.
kind of things to do, you know. But I would love to get into that on a super deep level like that, and that would be dope.
Even the drying, freeze drying stuff. You know, those are things that we should have been doing a long time ago. But all of us, the majority of us, were complacent because we just
still will be.
Yeah.
We do it, but we ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Let me just read this article before I go so we can wrap this down.
Right.
Prepping on a budget, the 7 rules you need to know. Prepping on a budget is a skill that many people don't have or can't imagine. They think that the only way to stock up and be prepared is to spend a bunch of money. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, learning how to start prepping on a budget is something that anyone can do with a little bit of guidance. It's all about having the right mindset. In this article, we're going to break down the fundamentals of prepping on a budget and how to get cheap prepper supplies. Once you see how easy and financially approachable this process can be, there'll be nothing to hold you back. Table of contents. I'm going to read out the points and just read 2 of them. It will be on LanceScurv.com on this corresponding post that I'm making now. It's not going to be there right away, but like say another 20 minutes. I'm going to take 20 minutes, throw it up there before I go. Number 1, start with food and water. Number 2, stick with essential supplies. Number 3, find a cheap or free bug out location. Number 4, don't skimp on your exit strategy. Number 5, understand how to tap the area. 6, keep your eyes out for a good deal. 7, come up with a saving strategy. Now it's time to get started. I'm going to read food and water and stick with the essentials. And the rest of the chapters, I'll have it where you can get to the link or you can read it on the site. Number 1, start with food and water. Trying to prep while keeping costs low is all about effectively prioritizing what you buy. There are a million things you can get that will make your life a little easier, but aren't essential. Food and water don't fall into this category. No matter how elaborate your setup is or what fancy survival gear you have, none of it matters if you don't have food or water. Dying due to dehydration or starvation will end your journey pretty darn quick. That's why it is so important to prioritize food and water when prepping on a budget. This isn't an area where you want to sacrifice quality or efficiency for the sake of saving a few bucks. It's better to save money in other areas. With that being said, it's actually not that expensive to start stocking up on food and water. A good prepper food storage plan could be customized to fit your short and long-term needs without breaking the bank. For example, you can purchase canned or dehydrated foods in bulk for a very reasonable price. Depending on your budget, these can last you a significant amount of time and give you the flexibility to start exploring more sustainable long-term options. Water can be purchased in bulk and stored at a relatively low cost too, though it shouldn't be your only option. Having water filtration equipment on hand is worth its weight in gold and will keep you alive if you run out or need to deviate from your initial plan. More on that later. At the end of the day, if you don't eat or drink water, it doesn't matter what else you do. Make sure you have enough to get you by before moving on to the other stuff. Number 2, and I'll wrap it down after that. Stick with the essential supplies. As we've already established, learning how to start prepping on a budget is all about prioritizing. Once you have food and water all taken care of, it's time to think about the rest of your gear. With so many neat gadgets and options on the table, it's easy to get distracted. But that's why we recommend hitting the essentials first if you have a limited budget. The kind of equipment and supplies that fall into this category have at least one of the following traits. It's absolutely essential, like a first aid kit. The versatility makes it a no-brainer to include. If something doesn't have one of the 2 characteristics above, it's not essential. This is a good rule to follow when prepping on a budget or acquiring supplies in a SHTF scenario, which I slipped my mind what that meant. Below are some of the examples of cheap supplies that make the cut. It's by no means all inclusive. We'll create a full list another time, but it will get you heading in the right direction. First aid gear. Kits and SAM splints are a must. Paracord, the king of versatility. Tarp, extremely versatile as well. Mylar blanket, the ultimate lifesaver. A good multi-tool, survival hatchet, duct tape will always be useful. Pulling from this list and making sure any new equipment passes the value test will make sure that you continue prepping on a budget. It will also lead you to owning the most impactful gear that gives you the most bang for your buck. So like I said, the other chapters, we'll put them up on the site, and I'll put the link out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a topic that we can go on speaking for hours, and it's something that if I can, at least once a week, maybe on the weekend, I'll try to have somebody come in that knows a little bit about it, or they may not know as much as the prior guest, but they have something unique to share. Because see, prepping here for me in Accra, Ghana, I would say is a lot easier than if I was like in Midtown Manhattan. You know what I mean? With so many people around me. They have so many people over here too. There are millions of people that live in Accra. But if I'm outside of it and there's nothing but greenery and fruit and heat year round, there's certain things that I won't have to worry about as opposed to the winter coming and it being real hot.
Right.
Last time, if I go outside in the wintertime out here, I start to get dark and I get a tan.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
So you have to adjust it to your climate. With the weaponry, if you're way out 200 miles away from any civilization, you might not have to worry about the next human being coming by you as much as if you live down the block from somebody and they go and hit that and they might start scheming. They got food over there. And it may not be the person that knows it. They may talk and have loose lips and somebody else say, I heard they got over this over there. Because like, this is what I said, when times get that hard, people are going to really be scoping you out. Like I know from working in incarceration, when guys look to do home invasions on homes, you think they just roll up to a house because it's pretty or the lights are out?
Right.
And they call them jobs. They will scope their jobs out sometimes 15, 20 in advance. They'll spend time, 4 different guys on their phone, parked out down the block, watching the house. We're going to take 3 hours over here. We already know that this lady is off on these days, but that other strange car that's there at night, we know the man don't live there, but who is he?
Right.
And maybe we follow him to find out where he lives, because if she goes on vacation, like we found out on her social media, he might be going to the house. So her house might be open, but we need to watch where he is too. So while they do invade your house or rob your house, they might have somebody parked out over there, maybe 5 miles away, so that if that alarm goes off and he has access to it and he gets in his car, hey, you need to get out. He's leaving. You know what I mean? So they're very meticulous in their approach that way. And it's only going to get more shrewd, because when hunger's not driving them, greed and not wanting to work and just want to get over on people drives people to do that. And they do that. When hunger is behind it, there's some people that you think that are really nice and good that are going to change on you because they got to get to your refrigerator. You know what I mean? Look, I'm up sometime at night. Mrs. Scurv is in the bed and she has something in the fridge or something put away that she's going to eat tomorrow. Now I done had mine, but she's fast asleep. And there's other things to drink. There's water here and all that stuff. There's there's a bottle of juice that I like that I drank mine already, but I'm like, she's asleep. I'm thirsty.
Taking this. I'd kill you.
She got that big thing of cashews in there. I love the shoot. I'm fast asleep in the bed, sleeping later because she got up earlier because she went to bed earlier, and the door swings open. Did you drink my drink? Did you? And that's my wife. And I'm taking it from her. So imagine a stranger who don't give a damn about you. You know what I mean?
You're lucky she hasn't strangled you yet for the amount of times you be drinking her stuff.
Do it all the time.
You should have finger marks all up and down your neck.
And she makes that hibiscus tea and puts them in the water bottles, right? And so, like, I drink a lot of those because she knows I drink a lot. And so I got so guilty sometime. I had these malt drinks that I had side by side. I put them in the back and put the hibiscus in the front to make up for space-wise on all those other 8 things. Oh my
gosh.
And even going further to take because we're supposed to say, I saved the bottles of water so she can put it in again.
Right.
I'll put it in the bag and hide them so she can't see. Now I got that rack system, right? My old system I used to use to take the phone calls for the show and stuff. So halfway down, it's kind of hollowed out because it doesn't have that much stuff in there. So I pulled it out.
The bottles in there. Oh my gosh. You are mess.
How come when I woke up, all those bottles are on the floor between me and the bathroom? And I'm like, oh, damn, she found it. She'll do it. So anyway, let me get ready to get out of here. We've been out here for about 2 hours or so, almost 2 hours, whatever. But
yeah.
Well,
this was interesting on all levels, from beginning to end. Very interesting.
So, folks will be here tomorrow.
I know. Onika, make sure you're here.
Yeah, she might even come on if she can.
Oh gosh, yeah, indeed. Yeah, so hopefully that's what it is. Thank you guys. This was good. So we'll follow up some more at some point during the week with the prepping on a budget. Just talk about it some more.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if they can bring anybody in.
Right.
Bring some.
Right.
Because people who have the experience, they just rattle it off, and you're like, "Whoa, that was a gem! I didn't read that before."
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks again, Brother Lance.
Thank you. Definitely.
All right.
I'm gonna head out back in nature.
All right. All righty.
Much love. Peace.